This is important for patients, physicians, and honestly, the general public, because there's a lot of confusion, a lot of myths, and unfortunately, a lot of women not getting the care they could benefit from. Here's something that might surprise you. About 1 in 5 women with fibromyalgia say that their symptoms started right around menopause. That's not just a coincidence, it's a clue. Menopause is more than just hot flashes and night sweats. It can be a tipping point for chronic pain conditions like fibromyalgia. Some studies have shown that hormone therapy, called menopause hormone therapy or hormone replacement therapy, can actually reduce fibromyalgia symptoms. Now, let's be clear, this isn't a cure, it's not for everyone, and it's just one piece of a much bigger treatment puzzle. But for some women, especially those whose fibromyalgia began with menopause, hormone therapy may help with pain, fatigue, and overall quality of life. Here's the concerning part. Most women who are eligible for menopause hormone therapy aren't receiving it. That means there are women out there living with more pain and more limitations than they might have to, simply because hormone therapy isn't being discussed or offered as an option. Because menopause doesn't have to be the point where your health declines, and with the right information, it might be a turning point for the better. And with that said, I'm doing a series of reaction videos, starting with today's reaction to Dr. Marty Makary from the FDA, who shared some fascinating insights on hormone replacement therapy in women's health. I'll break down some key points, share some takeaways, and give my reactions. I think you're definitely going to enjoy this and the other related videos. If you haven't done so, hit the like and subscribe button so that others can hear more about this important information.
But first, I'm going to hand it over to our commissioner, Dr. Marty Makary, for some opening remarks and comments.
Great. Thank you, Sarah. It's so good to be here. It's so good to see everybody. So great to meet all of these experts in person. I have read the work of so many of you. So thank you for being here and contributing. This is a very important issue. In the 1950s, researchers at the Mayo Clinic looked at women who had their ovaries removed, and they noticed that they all went on to have early heart disease, including one woman who had a fatal heart attack at age 28, suggesting a powerful and profound cardioprotective effect of estrogen made in the ovaries.
This early Mayo Clinic research really set the stage for understanding just how important estrogen is for heart health. It's striking to see such a clear link between ovarian hormones and cardiovascular outcomes, and it makes you wonder how many lives could have been impacted by this knowledge and implementation.
Other studies went on subsequently to show that when a woman starts estrogen or estrogen plus progesterone within 10 years of the onset of menopause, there is somewhere between roughly a 25 and 50% reduction in fatal heart attacks and cardiovascular disease. Now, just to put that in context, that is comparable to the risk reduction or greater than the risk reduction of a statin. Heart disease is the #1 cause of death in women. And a 2015 Finnish study found that when women taking HRT stopped taking the hormone replacement, the risk of a fatal heart attack went up by 26% within that 1 year that they stopped taking it. What's going on here? Well, there's some significant nuance. That is, for women who go without hormone replacement therapy for greater than 10 years or without natural intrinsic estrogen production for more than 10 years, the benefit can turn into a risk because there may be progression of atherosclerotic changes in the cardiovasculature.
The Finnish study highlights a crucial point. Timing really matters. When it comes to hormone replacement therapy, starting hormone treatment too late or stopping it abruptly can actually increase risk. So it's important for women and their doctors to have nuanced conversations about when and how to use these therapies.
Some doctors recommend never prescribing hormone therapy, initiation of therapy after age 60. There are many different practice styles out there. We'll hear from the experts today, but there is nuance to affirm this idea that if a woman is to start it, if they do not have a contraindication or a relative contraindication, that it is important to start it within 10 years of the onset of menopause or before age 60, roughly. Now, I don't practice in this field. I've been observing the medical literature, but this nuance was affirmed in the 2002 Women's Health Initiative study, where the average age of starting hormone replacement therapy was over age 60. It was age 63 on average. That's too late in the minds of many experts.
The Women's Health Initiative is a perfect example of how medical dogma can shape practice for years, even when new evidence emerges. It's a reminder that we need to keep updating our understanding and not let our outdated fears dictate patient care.
In fact, a 2017 reanalysis of this data by Manson et al. And JAMA found that in the group under age 60, there was a decrease in all-cause mortality among the women that took hormone replacement therapy. Now, that 2002 Women's Health Initiative study suggested that there was an association with breast cancer. Doctors called their panel of patients to tell them to get off of it immediately. The many benefits of hormone therapy were ignored as it was seen as a carcinogen. Prescriptions for hormone replacement therapy plummeted in the United States. Women flushed their pills down the toilet. The amazing thing in that 2002 paper, there was no statistically significant increase in breast cancer mortality. Amazing. But as a result of the fear of breast cancer, 50 million plus women have not been offered the incredible potential health benefits of hormone replacement therapy because of medical dogma. One of those women was my mother, who went through perimenopause around that time. She went on to have a couple bone fractures subsequent to that in the course of her older life. So I was struck when I learned that hormone replacement therapy, started within 10 years of the onset of menopause, reduces the risk of bone fractures by up to 50%. That's a New England Journal of Medicine randomized controlled trial. And remember, when a woman gets over age 80, the risk of a fracture can be fatal. 1 in 3 women over age 80 will have a hip fracture, and the 1-year mortality is 22%. Bone strength matters. And that, of course, is another well-established long-term health benefit, is the reduction of bone fractures. It's also been found to reduce cognitive decline by up to 64%, and in one study, reduces the risk of Alzheimer's by 35%.
It's amazing to see how hormone replacement therapy can impact not just heart health, but also bone strength and even cognitive decline. These broader benefits are often overlooked, but they're a big part of the conversation for women considering hormone therapy.
We've got billion-dollar drugs that are aimed at slowing the progression of Alzheimer's, but there may be a hormonal association whereby there may be a benefit in preventing Alzheimer's at a much lower cost. Notice I've only been talking about long-term benefits and not the short-term alleviation of the symptoms of perimenopause experienced by many women, symptoms that can be alleviated, including mood swings, difficulty sleeping, dryness, and maybe 50 plus other potential symptoms of menopause. Today, we are interested in learning, and that is why Dr. Brenner and myself have convened incredible experts on this topic, well published, with impeccable credentials, to separate medical dogma from evidence. So I look forward to learning from all of you. I would be very interested in your thoughts on what we discovered when we came to the FDA a few months ago. Number one, there is a black box warning on vaginal estrogen, even though the North American Menopause Society and the American College of Obstetrics and Gynecology has called for removing it. We discovered that there is a black box warning on systemic estrogen, even though no clinical trial has ever found an association between hormone replacement therapy and an increase in breast cancer mortality. So we want to learn from all of you. Update us, teach us about the latest evidence, and help guide us as we think through what should be done here at the FDA.
I found Dr. Makary's perspectives really eye-opening, especially the emphasis on timing and long-term benefits of the hormone therapy. It's a reminder of how medical advice can change as new evidence emerges and how important it is to look beyond headlines or single studies. I also appreciate the call for the updated FDA guidelines and a more balanced information for patients. At the same time, it's important to remember that menopausal hormone therapy isn't right for everybody, and decisions always should be made in consultation with your physician. To wrap up, this video was a great reminder of the complexity of women's health and the importance of staying informed. If you found this commentary helpful, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Have you or someone you know had experience with hormone replacement therapy? What questions do you still have? This is important because it affects fibromyalgia and chronic pain syndromes as well as these other benefits. To learn more, you can listen to episodes 200 and 201. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe for more content like this. And as always, consult your doctor for medical advice. Thanks for watching.